Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem made headlines during her testimony to the Senate Homeland Security Committee Tuesday when she incorrectly answered what the fundamental U.S. right known as habeas corpus means.
So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right to.
Let me stop you, ma'am. Habeas corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
The concept of habeas corpus dates back to the Magna Carta. It is the right of prisoners to challenge their imprisonment, allowing them to ask a judge to issue a writ of habeas corpus, essentially a court order, demanding that whoever is detaining them prove in court that their detention is lawful. If a judge finds that is not the case, the prisoner must be freed. This right is explicitly granted in the first article of the Constitution, saying, quote, "The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion the public safety may require it." The Supreme Court has consistently upheld this right and says it extends to both citizens and non-citizens. For example, activist Mahmoud Khalil, a lawful permanent resident whose status has been revoked by the government because he took part in pro-Palestinian protests and is currently detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, filed a habeas corpus petition challenging his detention. In 2008, the Supreme Court also extended this right to non-citizens detained at Guantanamo Bay. The protection has only been suspended legally 4 times in American history, and only with congressional approval, according to the National Constitution Center. During the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln suspended it throughout the United States, and Congress later passed a law legalizing Lincoln's decision. Congress authorized the president at the time to suspend habeas corpus 3 other times: during Reconstruction in certain parts of South Carolina, during a 1905 insurrection attempt in the Philippines, and after the bombing of Pearl Harbor in Hawaii in 1941. The Supreme Court has ruled that migrants detained as part of the Trump administration's deportation efforts are allowed to challenge their deportation using a habeas corpus petition. The Trump administration is, quote, actively looking at the possibility of suspending habeas corpus, according to White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. If they don't get congressional approval to do it, it could set up their actions for another fight at the Supreme Court over their constitutionality.